The next speaker, come on somebody, put your hands together for Mrs. Mitchell Chong, Honey Bun.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you all for being here. I think you are special people because you understood the vision. I want to be sure. Okay, I see Paul over there. Good. This is my granddaughter. I hope you can see her beautiful face. This is Jamaica's trade deficit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the only place we want to call home. There was a time when we all wanted to migrate to the great USA. This is the only place we want to call home. And this is the only place we get to choose and form our own future. This is the only place we can make a decision about our future. Good morning, distinguished guests, family, friends, ladies and gentlemen. This is a most honorable day, and I welcome you all. Today is a great day because it's a day of hope. For what are we if we do not have hope? I came prepared today to speak to you about one of the hottest topics, the SME sector, which will bring us jobs, economic growth, propose tremendous hope for Jamaica. The small and medium-sized enterprises I'm speaking about represent over 97% of our formal businesses in Jamaica and many other places in the world. While the informal sector, those who are not registering their business, represent 43% of our GDP, according to MICAF's 2016 MSME policy report. Here are three things that this industry absolutely need the most. One, and I learned this from my coach, Mr. Alex Ihama of 6 months, data. Alex, am I being a good student? This industry needs data desperately. What we see here is some information from MICAF, and we can see that 1,893 plus 2,553 of our small and medium-sized businesses are involved in retail trade, buying and selling. They're our largest sector, buy and sell. Jamaicans, we are buy and sell people. Here we now see some more information on the SMEs, and this information comes from the PIOJ from Statin and MICAF. In the bottom line, we see where in 2018, there were $3 billion more loans for SMEs. And what happened to the sales? Those of you who can see the board, the sales were flat. $3 billion more in sales. We researched other countries that report on SMEs, and this is what we found. Canada also had 97.9% small businesses, with a contribution of 38.54% to GDP and 11.8% from medium size. Now, if this is important, if SMEs are important to Jamaica, then we need to sort out some of our data. Admittedly so, it was difficult to impossible, and I have a team of people who are here with me today, to get the data for Jamaica on SMEs. As a country, the data was just not available. The reports received from the PIOJ and MICAF were for MSEs, which is micro small enterprises, while the industry policy was for MSMEs, which is micro, small, medium-sized enterprises. I hope you can get that. We are all over the place. There was absolutely no data for SMEs, which is the small and medium-sized enterprises. There was no data on SMEs' contribution to our GDP. And there's no information on SMEs' contribution to export. And export is our only answer to fixing the trade deficit. But there's no information on 97% of our businesses and how much they are contributing to GDP. I am aware that the PIOJ, because I spoke to them extensively, is in the process of working with Statin to update this information. If this industry is critical to success, then we must, 1, get the data. Yes. 2, we need to set some targets. And 3, we need to make a plan. I think another speaker spoke before. How do we achieve anything without the plan, without the strategy? It's that simple. Simple, simple, simple. The next section, or the second item, is very controversial, and I've somewhat generalized to make a point. So I'm going to be a little bit disruptive this morning and make myself unpopular. If we agree that we need the data to move this sector of our economy, then why do we always say that the first thing and the priority for SME is access to finance? And I'm definitely hoping we have bankers in the house. Because it is my opinion, and I stress my opinion, that SMEs don't need money yet. I'm expecting anyone who brought stones to throw them about now. Okay. What we need first is data, we need targets, and we need a plan. Absolutely. But too often, we think we need money first. Yes. What a mistake, in my opinion. Many businesses are getting money because the DBJ has free grant money. And because, as a country, we indulge in an entitlement mentality. We stretch out our hands, and I've heard at least 2 speakers speak about hands up and hands down. We stretch out our hands with our palms up, and only too often curse the same hands that the banks, the governments, etc., that we expect to fill them. So imagine you go to the stoplight, the person wiping your windshield hold out his hand, and when he's finished, him cuss you. We cannot grow a country with that mentality. We need to take responsibility for the things we want to change. And I mean we, all 100 of us sitting here today. So what needs to change before we get money? SMEs will need to understand governance, financial intelligence, reporting, marketing, productivity, and a number of other things. And there are plenty of ways to learn these things. Lots of agencies. The SMEs need strategies. So when it comes to the money, as an analogy in the field of war, when we hear the sergeant say, wait, 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 not yet, go. It's about a strategy. Well, that's what I say about the money. Wait. The money is a springboard, but we have to develop the strongest boards from which to take off, the strongest legs on which to pounce, and the style to hit the water without the splash. Associations and private sectors need to take responsibilities too. On far too many occasions, associations do the same finger pointing as opposed to enough introspection. We point at government for everything while holding our corner without blame. Associations compete with each other for revenue and for taking credit, resulting in meager returns, and dare I say, hardly the appreciation we anticipated. They remain in silos and often do an excellent job in advocacy, because when they advocate, They don't have to take any responsibility to get the job done. Why not build a nation and forget about taking credit? But use the satisfaction of leading a better Jamaica for our children as a pride we hold in our heart. In a better world, I see associations coming together to discuss the business of the nation with government, clergy, schools, and other partners, as we are doing today, and understanding the problem and developing strategies for solving those problems, deciding on who does what, by when, and keeping each other accountable. Keep it simple. We don't need any more 300-page reports. Funded by the DBJ. We can reduce those that we already have to 1 page. It's that simple. If it's not simple, it won't happen. If we are not all assigned or part in the plan for Jamaica, then we will continue being unproductive and inefficient and wasting a lot of money, busy duplicating and creating work for ourselves. We lack focus when we try to become all things to all men at all cost, and what a cost, and gain nothing to account for it. Or SME sales have been flat in spite of $2 billion more loans. Many of us are business people, so we already know what we need to do in business to succeed. Identify the problem, create the innovative solutions, and assign leaders to execute. Get the data, get the target, make the plan. That's simple. That brings me to the third leg of success for SMEs, and that is leadership. I know future presenters will speak extensively on this, and I know Alex will do an amazing job, so I won't elaborate too much. Oftentimes, I wondered why our execution in Jamaica is so bad and how we can fix it. Now I know that it was not execution that was bad. It is our lack of leadership. We hear of corruption abound. We are descendants of a slavery mentality where we use punishment to improve things. We have the boss and worker model. This must change, and this summit is intended to do exactly that, but in a new way. Under the guidance of Alex Ehama, he has joined the corporate executives with the clergy, the academias, the government, and the associations to work together strategically to, in his words, take their rightful places in the corridor of national power and transformation. Besides the pearls of wisdom that my colleagues will share on leadership, what I will add is that leadership must be disruptive. Everybody's on their cell phone, hand phone, iPads, WhatsApp. If leadership is not disruptive, we're not going to lift their heads. In fact, I share a note I sent to a couple of you here. I said, if you are inspired today to attend this summit, get up and miss your plans for Thursday. Call in sick. Be disruptive and grasp for what will make a difference. Tell your boss the next day that you went to this summit, you weren't really sick, and he's going to look up and listen. Too many of us plan to do the same thing we always do on Thursdays. Will anything change as a result? I got to do one last plug. When I went to my board a couple of months ago at Honey Bun to get approval to form a foundation, I believe that the directors were struck because I think they were not expecting it. After all, we're in business to make money, right? Wrong. We are in business to build a dynamic, powerful economy, to create wealth for our customers who can afford to spend more. How else but to build our country, build our future buyers, and to work together with everybody else in our ecosystem. We are like crabs in a barrel, boiling, and don't even know it. Each one stepping on the other one to get to the top of the pot of boiling water while the lid is still on. This might have been the mentalities of the 60s and 70s when our population was 1.8 million and we competed against each other. Today, we are global. Our market is 7.5 billion people globally. We can only win when we join forces, when we learn who our competitors really are, and build an alliance together to compete. As such, Honey Bun has now registered the Honey Bun Foundation with the objective to finding meaningful and aggressive business models to support the growth and development of SMEs and the creative industries. We believe that the creative industry are our single greatest competitive advantage to build brand Jamaica and to identify creative ways to earn new revenue streams. Alex Prignon used IT in the Silicon Valley. Let Jamaica use our talent and our brand in innovative ways to build our economy. The Honey Bun Foundation will not only build successful business models, but we want to see exponential, unprecedented growth of SMEs and the creative businesses. I went to a Masters of Arts dancer. I went to her home. I hope she's here. It is not right how she lives. She should be at the top of the ecosystem. We want to see our talented people earning significant foreign exchange for their talent, living in decent conditions and excelling. The foundation plans to take these things seriously. We will also be the force of collaborating agencies behind a common vision. And my takeaway. And so to end, what do I want you to take away from this discussion this morning? Say to the person beside you, I am not entitled to anything. Go ahead, say it. Jamaica's future depends on me. So you're off the hook. Tell them they're off the hook. It's about you. Because, my friends, here today, the only reason you don't love each other is because you're using each other as your excuse for why Jamaica is not the Jamaica you want. In closing, this is somebody's grandson. Leadership as it should be, will improve our economy. It will eradicate crime. It will earn foreign exchange and build wealth for our young people. We quiver about crime and pray it never reaches anybody you know. Death has already reached this young man while he is living. We cry for the dead, but have no compassion for those who are living without a life. I challenge us to despise seeing this life of death every day. I dare us all to say, I am responsible. Say it. This is not his fault. We need to get up and make a difference. Come on, guys, we have a country to fix. Because if there was ever a time to lead, it is now. If there was ever a reason to lead, it is this. Because as Jamaicans, we all know that this is God-blessed country.
Wow, come on. Standing ovation from Mrs. Mrs. Chong, come on, somebody.